Hey guys, welcome back to the Small Time Critic. I am 1/3 of the Small Time Critic. My name is Kem.
Kem and Hashi.
We have Mo with us today, but we have two special guests instead. So they're sitting in instead of him. I'm just saying. So he's in the building. We've got two special guests. The Brothers Geek Out podcast. Kibbs and G-Man.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Cool. Thank you guys for coming. Like, honestly, we've been watching your stuff. I know they've spoke to you guys over at the last episode, but yeah, I get to say it now. Yeah, you lot stuff is amazing.
No,
yeah.
thank you so much.
Incredible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, no. Today, again, if you're new with us, like, comment, subscribe, do the comment stuff, hit the bell so you know every time we post. Yeah, Mo's looking at me like, say, yeah, I need to get this right. But I'm doing it. I apologise.
Yeah.
I apologise. I'm not normally here. It's normally
It's the
Mo.
hardest part. Intros are always hard.
Oh, very hard.
Intro.
Anyway, today we'll be talking about Kill, and it is written and directed by Nick Hill. But
He done it right. He got it. Almost.
Again,
It's hard.
it's hard.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't want to mess up people's names.
No, of
especially-
course.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
especially
the
when
worst.
Oh
It's
my
the worst
god,
one.
I embarrassed myself trying to name names, and now I just give up. I just say the first name, first couple. I can't read. So.
Again, listen, if I've said it wrong, please correct me. But yeah, you have to get their names right, man. When they put in so much work, you have to get their names right.
No, you're right. I think I just we spoke about this on our podcast. I think I got dyslexic. I guess I'm self-diagnosed, but I really can't read. It's just really so bad, and I feel very, as you mentioned,
Yeah,
like
bad.
I'm
It's somebody's
disrespecting
work.
someone.
No, of course.
So yeah, I just put the names over the Kibbs. But
Yeah.
he sometimes teases me like, "Oh, G, say the name, bro." And I just,
No, it's a bants, isn't it? Sorry.
No,
It's
fair.
it's Big Brother bants.
But you're right. It's all respect. To
No, of course.
Respect.
Again, thank you for coming. Again, we're gonna do like a non-spoiler first.
Yes.
So, as you guys are our guests, yeah, let me know what you think.
So I was very, I don't know. I was, how can I say this? I was two-sided about this. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. I saw the trailer and I was like, it reminded me of like The Raid.
Yeah.
There's one that Chris Evans did on the train.
Is that Bullet? No, that's not Bullet on the Train.
No,
That's
not
Brad
Bullet
Pitt.
Train.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah.
the one in the snow, right? Snow
Yeah.
something.
Oh, Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. Yeah. So it kind of gave me that sort of vibe to it. But when I came out of that screening after, I was like, oh my God, that was absolutely awesome. Now listen, you're giving me a movie in a different language as well. And I'm all about world cinema, but sometimes it's hard to catch up with the tone of it.
Yeah.
Because only people that can understand the language is going to get the tone of what they're going through. But I think they did it really well in this. Now, the violence is insane. And I do like the way they shot it. Like they you know, you watch some action movies, the close-ups are like so close up that I'm going to puke at my age looking at this Fast and Furious action so close up. Like I can see everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that close. I want you to pull out because I want to see the skills of what the actors can do.
Yeah.
They did that in this, which was really good. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
good fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
G-Man.
I agree. No, I agree with that. I mean, I think like initially, like I was talking to Kibbs, we were sitting next to each other, and I was like, "Oh, this is like going to be like The Raid on a train or whatnot." But I do think like when you come like these days, you got this. They taken action movies to another level, right? John Wick. Well, you know what? John Woo started it from back in the days, and then you had Equilibrium, and then you had The Raid, and then John Wick. And it's just like, how do you get better? How do you improve it? And I feel like they done a great job. Like this, I'm not going to compare it with those, but I think it slots in straight with those action movies.
Yeah.
And just because the narrowness of a train is like a whole different environment. So how do I get that martial arts? How do I get that I like to call it artistic killing on a narrow train? And I think they've done a great job. I came out and I was like, yeah, easy. I could watch that again for entertainment values, but also the emotional values from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is non-spoiler, so I won't say nothing. But I've never seen that much emotion with the bandits. I was like, well, that's pretty. That was
It's a
good.
family affair, bro.
It was a family affair. The
It
bandits.
was.
Like, so I was like, wow, that's an interesting take because the bandits are getting emotional about, you know, some of their brothers and sisters or brothers that are dying or whatnot. I was like, I've never seen that before. And I thought that was an interesting take as well.
No, fair.
So I think it slots in there as a great action movie.
Oh, brilliant. Hashi?
For me, I really enjoyed the film. I was like, I wanted to temper my expectations because we've had some incredible action cinema
Yes.
in the last 10 to 15 years. We really have. And this, from the start, I felt like... Obviously, it being an Indian film, obviously Indian films have a connotation that, okay, are they going to be Bollywood? Are they going to be Tollywood? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it had a bit of those kind of like aspects of it at the start of the film.
That's right.
But once we got onto the titular train, where all of the film was basically set. That's when the film started cooking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, there's incredible action set pieces. There's some incredible acting.
Yes,
Mhm.
bro.
Especially towards the tail end of the film.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, especially toward with the
yes.
tail end of the train as well. You know what I mean? All the action happening there as well. So, but for me, I thought this was a great film, and I think for Western audiences to see that like Indian films can be more than Tollywood, can be more than Bollywood,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
is very, very important.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just waiting
Yeah.
for a number to break. That's why
Yeah.
I was a bit scared. Like I told him, "This is 3 hours, bro." He was like,
Yeah, he
are
teased
you
me with that.
joking?" I was like, "There's gonna be singing and dancing, bro, on the train." I was shocked.
He
It
told me
didn't-
all of this,
I was
and
like,
I was
"Oh, this is
like-
really." They really gave me a movie where they didn't do those elements because I
Yeah.
was expecting that
Yes.
from a Bollywood movie.
No.
Yeah.
So it was like, "Oh wow, this is insane." They've
That's
done
what
actually a
you would
really
expect
good
from
film.
Bollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, again, it was, I never expected what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for them to use that as, I think everybody has to pay homage to Monkey Man.
Oh yes.
Because Monkey Man did sort of is opening the gates for everyone else.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's one of, again, as Hash says, it's a piece they put forward and say, like, take us serious.
That's right.
Like, South Asian movie making,
Yes.
we're serious in what we're doing.
yeah.
Yes, we can do a John Wick, we can do a Monkey Man. Yes, we can do a Bollywood. But again, it stayed. I think it sort of stayed true to the cult. Like I could only speak from the outside in.
Yeah.
It stayed true to the essence of being South Asian. So there are the love scenes.
Yeah.
Love scenes, but like. The interaction between the lead and the female and the villain, it's still Bollywood essence,
Yes,
but
definitely.
serious,
Yes,
but
yes,
serious.
yes, yes.
So it's almost like, okay, we're here, take note, and a lot of the action scenes was like it was out there.
Yeah, definitely.
It was very
Definitely.
strong, and it stands on its own. It's not. A lot of people would want to say, "Oh, it's a Monkey Man" or "It's a John Wick." It's in its own league.
Exactly.
It's definitely
100%.
And in regards to sort of the setting being in such a confined space, there is no sort of looking away. Everything's it's full on.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
full
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you that tense feeling as well because it's claustrophobic, isn't it?
Yeah,
How am I going to get through this? And some of the scenes were like, "Oh wow, this is tight." How do you fight somebody in a situation like this?
yeah. I had those
around,
questions as well. It's almost like, okay, how are we going to get out? Yes, there's a lot. Okay, there's a lot to learn in regards to sort of. I wouldn't say learn. There's a lot to sort of do in regards to sort of because it's almost like a Western adaptation of that sort of an action movie.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of it. It's like, how do we get out of this scene? And you're like, I was stuck. I was thinking, okay, it's gonna end. It's gonna end.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a certain bit in the movie that we'll talk about in the spoiler bit. That when that happened, I was like, yeah, forget it. I'm ready. It's go time. You know when you get to the top of
They
the
told
ride?
you as well. Do you remember the title of the film didn't come to that point?
That's
which
the point I'm talking about.
Should we,
Yeah.
should we get into it then?
Spoiler.
Should we get into
Let's
it?
get into
All
spoilers.
right.
Let's
Who
do
was
this.
who was the kick off?
So I'll kick off. So for me, I thought, okay, so the film obviously starts in a very kind of like, kind of typical way where obviously we're getting the preamble and all that kind of stuff. We're on the train, and then you see kind of fighting begin. Obviously, you see them set up the actual main conflict, the fact that these guys are trying to rob the train, all that kind of stuff. But then, obviously, once this guy, you see him start fighting, you think, okay, this is going to be the film. Okay, this is going to be the visual language, all this kind of stuff. And then the film completely does a 180.
Oh,
And when it does a 180 and it kills our protagonist's love interest, his fiance, once she gets killed, and in the manner that she gets killed by the antagonist.
Very brutal.
Like, I thought, like, all right, stabbing her is like one thing, but then stabbing her in the neck while she's looking at him through the glass panel, bro. I was like, yo.
Shit, gave me goosebumps just thinking about that.
For me, I've always loved a late title card.
yeah.
And you get, and then once he makes his first kill, because at that point he's been just fighting people self-defense wise, but then once he like breaks that arm and he kills that person, and then the title card comes up, we are cooking with gas. We're off the races.
Yeah. To be honest, I think obviously there's no sort of stats here, but I think that is the latest title card I've ever seen.
No,
Yeah,
there
exactly.
is one later in Drive My Car. Ryuki Hamaguchi film.
Yeah.
That was the Academy Award nominated one a couple
That's
of years
right, yeah.
back. That one was, I think, 49 minutes into the film.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
So that, I think I don't know if that's a record, but that was a very late one.
But
This
what
was
I
pretty
liked
late as well
about-
because this was like I literally was looking at my watch. It was 45 minutes into the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
so-
I liked about this one though, it told you, as you said, this is where it's gonna start.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting next to Kibbs, I was like, he needs to kill him. Why is he gonna kill him? And I think I can't remember the guy's name. His partner did say like, if this was on the battlefield, I would have killed you.
Yes.
So I think there's an honor of code in the
Yes.
army or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
military group they were part of.
Yeah.
But that title told us all, oh, okay, now he's gonna start killing them, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was telling kids, please, like, he should be killing them, bro.
Because the title card had more than one meaning. It had the
Of
meaning
course.
to show the name of the movie, but also kill. That's what's about to
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
yeah.
Again, pretty cool the way the director kind of did that.
What was your thoughts on the antagonist? The actual, the main, the was he the son of? Was he the nephew of the?
The nephew.
The nephew. I thought he was fantastic, man. He had everything. Yeah, he was the one.
who
So
stabbed
he's
the
the one who
one.
stabbed
Yeah.
the,
Oh,
stabbed the love
Oh,
interest.
bro.
Oh yeah, I wanted
fe-
him to die gruesomely. Gruesomely.
But do you not feel that's just a brilliant sort of that's just the brilliance of having a great antagonist.
Yes, yeah.
Wanting him to go through every sort of gruesome way of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how did he get killed? He wasn't as gruesome as I wanted it. I'm gonna be honest.
So this is my issue because I was
Okay.
telling Kem and other people in the lobby after we watched
Yeah.
the film. Listen, we didn't see the dead body.
Yeah.
So is he actually dead, guys? You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
That's why I
you know
think
what
there's gonna be
wanted?
killed too.
I'm
You
gonna
know
be
what I
honest with you. This is what I wanted. Do you remember the end of season 1 Punisher?
Yes.
Remember that FBI guy he killed and he put his fingers in his eyes and I was like, do that to him because, as you said, he done such a great job of wanting him not just to be killed but
Yeah.
in a gruesome way.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not a fucked up dude. Excuse my
No,
language.
no.
I'm not. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. That's how he should have gone.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the power of storytelling to a point where this guy is so despicable that you want him to get his. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But then again, it might not sort of land with everybody, but for me, the reason why I absolutely love this as well, when he was at the moment to kill him, he was exhausted. There was no like rejuvenation to then give him the worst kill. Like
That's
he was
true.
absolutely spent,
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
what he did.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time he was running on empty.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
And then again to have like the kid get killed and
Oh man.
it was an absolute joy when I saw the aunties.
Yeah, yeah.
Aunties.
Yes.
Auntie smashed
that
it,
was awesome. That was awesome.
Auntie smashed it, I was like,
fan
yeah.
service,
There's a sequence for
revenge.
people who haven't watched. There's a
You
sequence
felt it?
where
Yeah, I was like,
100%, man. There's a sequence where some aunties, you know what I mean, like
aunties,
like
they
start
came
like
in, man. I was like, yes.
wailing on the
They
guy.
came in clutch. They came in clutch.
yeah,
they
came
came.
in clutch,
They
They
did.
came
They
in
did.
clutch, man.
I love that scene. It was like, I don't know, like it wasn't light-hearted. It was. I think the movie made you felt that moment
Yeah.
and the loss that they had.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. Yes, come on, moments.
But from both sides. This is what I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, like in the notes, that the bandits. I've never seen bandits cry over each other.
Yeah,
It's normally like, oh, he's dead, throw him off the train.
Yeah,
or whatever. They were really emotional
They
that
were
they lost
crying
each other.
that-
yeah,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like, this is a family affair.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, because of what the main bad guy did,
Yeah.
I didn't really, I can't say I felt emotional for the bandits because I didn't want to, but I think there was something there. Like maybe some people might be like, oh, this is bad on them
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, then man, kill them all.
No, but it's so interesting you bring that up because, like, after that title card comes up and they see our guys on smoke,
Yeah.
like a couple of them are saying, guys, let's cut our losses, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a few of them that said, this guy, he's not human. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, he's something else.
Yeah.
Like, he was that scary. Like, kind of like, obviously, this is kind of, definitely, there's kind of like homages to kind of John Wick and Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
and the Boogeyman.
definitely,
yeah.
And the use of light throughout the train, because there's many
good.
sequences where there's, throughout the carriages, there's no lights.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
these
yes,
guys
yeah.
are absolutely bricking it. You know what I mean? Because they don't know where he's going to come from. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's crazy. And for me, and let's get into this, like the fight choreography, because it's a lot of close quarters, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, CQC kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And for me, like, it was incredible. Some of the angles and some of the, like, the camera work on a technical level.
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Because there's those cameras that there's like one's looking up, one's in, you know what I mean, outside of the carriages, one's like from the outside of the train carriage, looking at the fight going across. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Yeah,
The
yeah,
correct
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It was crazy, man. What do you guys think about that?
That level of you can imagine the sets
Yeah.
Yes.
and like what parts of the trains were like open and how they did those shots. Like cinematography is so key when it comes to, I think, martial arts and any type of action movie.
Yeah.
Like showing us how it's done is so important.
Yeah.
And for me, like, it's always been about bringing out the action. I mean, Hong Kong cinema, we saw everything when they were fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to have that element put into nowadays movies does help, because the information comes in really well. You can see the guy actually swinging, doing the kicks or getting stabbed. Where sometimes with, like, say, like Fast and Furious action, it's so convoluted. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's all shaky pan,
and
quick edits.
And there's a lot of jump cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it just throws you out of it. So where with this one, where that you get the one scenes, you get the pull-out screens, I think it's really good, bro. You just get to see the action.
Yeah, T-Man, what do you think?
It's in what you said, like martial arts. It's art. I said it earlier, right? Artistic killing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Finding the right a way where you're brutally killing people in a very artistic way.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a great job with that. And again, with the set environment of the train, the narrow train, the seats and the different carriages and all that, sort of using all of that as your as an advantage and as weapons and stuff. I think they've done a great job. And I think this is where I said, like, it was different to the other movies that we have got that we've mentioned before, and it just slots in there for me. Like, it doesn't just copy something specifically; it made it its own.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
Kem, a question for you, because you were really enjoying the impact of some of the kind of hits and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that, because like for you, like, because there was some brutal kind of punches, and especially there was one specific henchman that was this guy.
That guy.
And Kem was like, yo, on one of on some of the kind of impacts.
While he was fighting, I'm thinking, like, obviously, because again, as these guys will forever just remind everyone, I'm an 80s baby. And this guy,
Don't worry, bro. I'm with you.
my guy, but he felt like M. Bison.
Yes.
Like, you could, it's like, this guy will take a knock and come back. And he's getting hit. And then, obviously, when he shows the emotional, like, element to him, when he's lost his, it's like, this guy's gone on a rampage. He's gone on a rampage. And for, obviously, with, everything was just so brutal.
Yeah.
And it felt like, you know what? They're pulling out all the shots. They're pulling out all the shots.
Yeah.
But then, you know what? I did my research because it was such a great movie for me.
Yeah.
Yes, it had, obviously, there are some issues there. But for me, I was like, you know what? It led me to go and watch other stuff to see. These guys have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
When they're making these movies, they make these movies properly.
Yeah.
But we're not privy to it.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And it's great that they've opened the door for everyone to see. And it's like, okay, now we're taking it serious.
Definitely.
But I did want to bring something up, slightly different.
Go
Do
on.
you reckon it was bold in regards to sort of the storytelling to kill his love interest off so brutal and so soon?
You know what? It's a good. I'm glad you brought that up, because I just assumed this movie is going to be about him saving the girl.
Yes.
So that's what I assumed, right? And then everyone assumed that. Even when I was talking to my little brother about it, he's like, "Oh, it just seems like I've seen the trailer." To take that bold step, I think that was a good sort of twist. Because I was like, holy I was saying to Kibbs, like, it's got like, oh shit moments, and then oh shit moments. You know what I mean? Like, like, that's how I felt.
G-Man, that's a really great point, because I think to have that, it sets up the stakes, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it also sets up the character's wound. On a writing standpoint, it's great writing. You know what I mean? And for me, I think for him to also fulfill the promise that he made to her to save his sister, because his sister was a reason why he actually went out to try and go, you know what I mean? To go look for her. And that's the reason why he then left his fiance to look for her, and that's the reason why she got killed. So for him to maintain and keep his promise of saving her sister is what was propelling the film towards its end. And I thought, again, we got the setup, we got the payoff. As everyone knows, that's what I love. And we got it.
Well, a question for you, Kibbs, is, as I said, I mentioned about how soon she got killed off. Do you reckon, because being killed off so soon, it means that there's a long portion of the movie that has to keep everybody entertained, bar the fighting, still telling the story? Because if she's killed off so soon, what else can you give apart from the revenge killing and everything? We understand what's the title card. It's game time. But I felt that there was still like sort of subplots, sub stories in there.
There was.
But to maintain that sort of attention, or the audience attention, killing the love interest off so early, to fill all of that up and still have more to tell. I personally, I thought that was amazing. What did you think about that?
Before you answer, Kibbs, I just want to say, like,
keep jumping in, bro.
Sorry. That for me, my intentions, but until that motherfucker dies, I'm here for 24 hours until he dies. So that got me. That was my intentions, man. But go on, Kibbs.
No, it works.
Yeah,
it works, because I think what would have been really bad is that we got like an hour and a half film. I think it was like hour. How long was it? Hours.
I could pull up while
Yeah. So basically, I feel like it's hard to fill up that. So at the 45-minute mark, I thought it was perfect.
Yeah.
But because there's still issues with how they're gonna get to the other side and how is he gonna get? Because for a moment, I thought he forgot about the system. Bro.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm getting bust up, my boy's getting bust up. What's happening here? But they continued it very well.
Yeah.
But they gave us more of, bro, the bad guys, bro. Like there were some like moments where I was like, the tune they played in the background, I was like, you know when Uncle's coming in.
Yeah,
bro, I was like, that's my uncle, bro. That's my
But wasn't that a bit strange? 'Cause I thought that was a bit incongruent to the tone of the film.
You're right, and then I think that's where the kind of South Asian cinema kicks in because like, the bad guy always has a theme tune, bro.
He has a weird
He's got to have a theme tune, bro.
Yeah.
So
and I don't know how he's walking through the train, but then there's wind blowing. How's that?
That's the authenticity. Sorry, I can't even say the word.
Authenticity
of that culture bringing
it
into the cinema. But
I was all for it.
yeah, no, I think it works really well, and
We
it's
kept
like the
calling him
good.
Sasa.
Yeah,
Uncle.
we were calling him
Big boy.
Sasa Uncle. Like the good, bad, and ugly. They all have different soundtracks. didn't
Yes, they
So-
did.
So having elements of that is interesting because it gets you engaged. Because oh man, Uncle's going to be on screen. But because of their story and the issues that they were having between themselves because of what the bad guy was doing, you're like, this guy is nuts.
Yeah.
We don't want to get involved in this, but we're in this.
We're in this, yeah.
So there's no backing out. We're stuck. We got the next stop coming, but
Yeah.
we still got to go through this. So I think they did well with that storytelling, bro.
There was one scene for me that I was like, yeah, this is when I was thinking, like, where am I now? This is movie making.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, you see, when the commando, I call him the commando.
Yeah, the commando.
Yeah, when the commando did his stuff and there was bodies hanging, suspended, I was like, yeah. Because everyone's now, you know, when like there's like a catastrophe, someone's like they want to identify the dead. People are running through. It's like, okay, that's not mine. That's not. And they're finding their loved one. Do you know how cold that is?
That's proper cold.
Do you know how
bro.
cold that is? Yeah. And then you had the his dad suspended, and then everything was
It's like Punishment. Again, it reminds me of Daredevil season 2 in Punisher. He had people on hooks. And
Yeah.
That's why I wanted that Punisher death. But you made a good point earlier. If I could go back a little bit on impact.
Yeah.
Because you're right, because I was thinking, back in the days, Hong Kong cinema, when they done impact, be it with a spinning kick or whatever, they had like powder and stuff, and it would connect, it would be slow motion, the powder would flip. You're right, with these new action movies, like, they're all amazing, but like, I'm trying to think up in John Wick with all the killing and the shooting. Where is there an impact of strike? You know what I mean? You're getting constant strike, but is there an impactful one? And I think you're right. They done. I come thinking back. This movie done great with certain strikes which were impactful. You're like, that's the powerful guy. Speed guy or whatever.
So again, I think this film really used sound design very well. I think for for example, a lot of the sounds of the train, a lot of the outside of the train. The sound design was incredible. Obviously, it goes into whatever theatre you're in as well, kind of. But I thought it was incredible, especially some of the impact of the hits, like some of the crunches, like bones breaking.
Oh, you felt it.
Necks
You
broken.
felt
You
it.
felt it. Like I had a person next to me. Like his hands were on his face. Like, you know what I mean? He couldn't believe the stuff he was seeing, and like he kept every single kind of he kept on like flinching. It was crazy.
We were in the same screening.
Yes.
And I was hearing so much cheers when people were getting their hits in, and because there was a few aunties like on either side, and we're hearing, and I'm like, yeah. Honestly, it was a great experience. We managed to speak to interview a few guy from like the Cobra Kai called Fight
Shumon.
Shumon. For someone like that to turn around and say, you know what, this is it. It just shows the level of like great choreography that is
that went into
inserted in these sort of movies, because he's doing, like, I'd say Cobra Kai, like these are some big stuff, and for him to come out and say, you know what, this is a 10 out of 10, it just shows the level of what this could do.
Definitely.
Let me ask a question though. I know I shouldn't ask it, but it's something that I need to. If we was to rate this in order, John Wick, Kill, Monkey Man, and Kill, where would we going?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
To be honest,
tough, bro. You put me on the spot like that, man.
to be honest, I feel it's an unfair,
very unfair, bro.
Unfair question,
It's
because
like when you ask like who's the GOAT in MMA or boxing. Like there's timelines.
No,
It fits in the timelines.
hey, throw in recency bias. Throw it in, man.
While you guys
so
are
hard.
thinking, I'll give you my one.
Go on.
Because I think I was thinking on the way here. Like, for me, I'm going to put John Wick number 1. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah,
Again,
no,
there's a lot of homage in this film. And this film, quite frankly, I don't think it would have been made without John Wick coming.
No,
up
it's so
for it.
true.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
true. So true.
Then I will 100% put Kill second and Monkey Man third. And the reason why I put Monkey Man third is this: I don't think Monkey Man delivered on the promise of the action that I wanted for the film. The trailer gave me a perception of the film that I did not get. You know what I mean?
Is that
While
because you
watching.
expected it?
And
Because
also-
based on some of the action we have seen.
Maybe
think
that.
I think that's unfair because I believe that because everybody was describing it. This is the South Asian John Wick.
Yeah.
And I think that's an unfair,
Very unfair.
comparison.
Yeah.
So when it comes out and it's one of like. Yes, it's a revenge story, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, but I thought the kind of politics it tried to go into was very ham-handed kind of thing. I didn't think it did that particularly well and all that kind of stuff.
They could have cut
And
that part out.
They could have cut that whole part out, and there was definitely pacing issues and stuff like that. I felt that him kind of being in stasis before he kind of then suited up took way longer than it had to and stuff like that. So I just think there was a lot of kind of wasted opportunity with Monkey Man, whereas Kill really took the opportunity that it was given. I think the only kind of nitpick I have with Kill is you might laugh. I think there was too much action. I thought that there were some parts where they could have slowed down a bit, given the audience some time to breathe and catch up a little bit. That's the only thing I think.
Even though it was subbed, for us anyway. Even though we had to, obviously, because it was subtitled for us.
Yeah, that's
Even
right.
because if we were to sort of understand the language, maybe that's a genuine argument. Because where there's so much fight scenes, it gave us a respite in regards to trying to understand dialogue and
read. Yeah, exactly.
So where we didn't have to sort of like try to read dialogue and sort of maintain eye contact with the action, full action and understanding, I thought that was a bit of a respite because there was so much action, but then there was the dialogue in itself meant every single part of the movie. Because if you missed a bit of the dialogue, you won't sort of understand the connection that that guy who died, the connection he had to one of the other guys.
But again, I think as moviegoers, and especially us as people who are cinephiles, we're not gonna not give our attention to the film kind of thing.
That's
You know what I'm
right,
saying? And again, if a film is not engaging, that's one thing. But this film is engaging, so of course you
that's
have your attention to be
fair.
able to get past that kind of like maybe like 1 inch barrier on the bottom of the screen, which is subtitles. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. You know
So
what I mean?
I'm gonna go with John Wick first,
Yeah.
Monkey Man second, and Kill last.
Okay.
Only reason why I think what Dev did in this movie is groundbreaking because he gave a lot of culture in it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of culture that people haven't seen before. Because when I came out of that screening, like people were like, I didn't know about Hanuman and all of that. And you know, they've heard parts of it from Black Panther when Michael was talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and I think that's where pacing issues was.
Yeah.
But I love that element. I want to see more culture. I want to learn more about it. And movies and TV shows are going to do that for us.
Yeah.
So I feel like what he did was groundbreaking there. I agree with the pacing issues.
Yeah.
And the political part of it was a bit... I was like, I think it was a bit too much to put in there.
Yeah.
But I love the overall look, the sound.
The grit.
Yeah, it would just look like he shot those scenes really well, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the fact that he's telling me he's shooting it on an iPhone, some of the scenes. You're like, bro,
Where?
like who's your director of photography, bro? I don't see no mismatch in the screen here. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
So like that, it
Frame
was
rates and
amazing.
everything was all on point. Yeah.
So good. So I'm gonna give him that respect for number 2.
No, fair.
Kill as an action movie, South Asian movie coming out there, and you know, without the singing and dancing in it.
Yeah.
You've given me a full-on great action movie. I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Very cool. Number 3, though.
I think I might go with that. I might go with the same thing, John Wick, Monkey Man, and Kill. Because I feel like, like for me, like John Wick, the reason why I pull it first, like there's a rewatchability where I could, like with Kill, I could definitely watch it with my wife. I know it's gonna be violent for her and whatnot, but the story and the storytelling, even with Monkey Man, I watch it with my wife. But I can never rewatch it again with her. I probably won't be able to rewatch it again myself after many years. But say, for example, I'm bored and I just want to watch an entertaining film. It's going to be John Wick. I could put on that bathhouse scene and just geek out. But I can never let, like, for example, my wife would be like, I'm not watching that again. She never wants to watch John Wick again. But I feel like with Kill and even Monkey Man, because there's so much story, I'm just thinking of it from that perspective. But for me, I feel like in that order, like, that's how I put it. But there's so many movies. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I first watched The Killer with Chow Yun-fat back in the 80s, what he's doing was so artistic. No one done that before. And then The Better Tomorrows and all that stuff.
John Woo
and then Equilibrium comes in.
Can I throw one in? Jet Li, The One.
The One, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking while I was saying. Because, like, you've got Jet Li, The One. Like, what he was doing at the time was great. It was like,
Right, Romeo must die.
Oh,
You could go all day, guys. Come on, man.
Okay. And then even with, like, and you mentioned as well, like, not knowing some of these movies on Buck. I found out about On Buck. I was watching some Muay Thai fights on some random channel because you don't find it on that channel. So I was like, oh, Muay Thai, I'm going to start watching it. And then they showed an advert for On Buck. And I was like, Kibbs, we got to find this movie. And then from that, you learn, like, the Tom Yum Goong movie and whatnot.
Yes.
But, like, I knew about the Equilibriums and all that stuff. And then again, going back to Southeast Asia, The Raid. Like, again, I don't even know how we discovered that one. But then you said you start discovering the other movies. Eco's one of my guys now. Whatever Eco's in, I'm going to watch it. And some, you know, but I think, you know, when it comes to rewatchability, I could always put on John Wick, man. So I'm going to put John Wick first, then Monkey Man, and then Kill.
Fair.
But it's like, that doesn't mean one's better than the other.
No, yeah.
Well, you
all
can.
respect.
I think, you know, putting aside recency bias, it would have to be John Wick Kill. Monkey Man then Kill. Because again, the essence of Monkey Man, I still put it up there because of, it's almost like, can I use Renaissance? No, I can't really. But
it's because it's artistic, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's quite creative.
It
like
is.
I can see,
but then also it has the grit, the absolute, like, the grit, and it talks on it sort of touches on themes where a lot of people, like, it was so taboo. Like, the themes in there is taboo, and it's almost like, look at me, I don't care who you are, take note.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
I can see that.
Again, I have to rate Dev Patel, man, for the process that he'd gone through in order to get the movie made as well. It all adds to it, man.
Definitely,
so it would have to be a close second for me because I love John Wick.
Yeah.
But I think John Wick is almost like riding on the coattail of John Wick, if you get what I mean.
No.
So, like, John Wick's always going to be a John Wick because we're going to watch it. Yeah. But Monkey Man and Kill had to come and say, this is who I am. Check my credentials and let me know. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
whereas Kill, you don't have to check his credentials. You know, John Wick, you don't have to check the credentials because you know it's going to be a John Wick movie. So it's legacy stuff.
Yeah. You mentioned grit a few times, and we spoke about this. Do you think sometimes now with 4K and HD cameras that takes away from a bit from the grit? Or, like, if they were going to make a gritty movie, do you think they intentionally have to use, like, worse quality cameras?
So it's not so much the camera, because obviously having a little bit of background in like media and stuff like that. A lot of when I find gritty movie, it's heavily sort of like they've got picture noise. They artificial picture noise. But then there is a way of doing it, and there's an amount of actual sort of picture noise that you wanna throw in. I think Monkey Man was perfect because again, I'll have to go back to check it. There's a lot of outside scenes, you know, when he was like being chased and it was outside, and when he was inside, it was clean shots. Shots was so clean, but when he was outside, when he was in the tuk-tuk or whatever, you had the image was like gritty, and it was like there was picture noise there, and it made me feel like, okay, we're down dirty here, we're getting into. And then when he is inside and he was like the waiter and stuff like that, it was all pristine. That's why
that's
I say
interesting.
grit.
So obviously when someone says to me grit, I think not of kind of like the technical aspects of the filmmaking. I think more of kind of the world.
The world,
I think more of the world. I think more of like the setting. I think more of kind of like the kind of combat style, stuff like that. It's not, you're not kind of just boxing kind of thing. Okay, standing on or anything like that. It's a fight to the death. You know what I'm saying? You're you know what I mean? You're in the mud. There's one knife. It's you or the other guy. You know, that's the kind of grit that.
Of course. No, fair, man. Any more? Anyone got anything else to say about it before we get our scorings?
No. Good movie, man. Good. We came out of the screening, and it's always nice to talk to people about what you see. I love reactions, bro.
Yeah.
And when you come out of a screening and you see people's reactions,
because we were having conversations even afterwards. Yeah, remember?
So it was like, it's amazing because a movie can give off such a vibe.
Yeah.
And this movie does that.
Yeah. My last bit from me is, with movies like this, especially with The Monkey Man, I always want to see the reaction from the people from that region.
Yeah.
Like if for me, it's like, I love it. But I like to see the reaction from someone from a South Asian background. It's like, did they do justice?
It gets emotional, bro.
Yeah, because I want to know.
It gets emotional.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know,
yeah,
like,
because you're like, oh man, they repped that so well.
But would
there
that
you go.
ruin things sometimes? Like, say for example, again, these movies, and then you come across be it an MMA fighter, like a UFC champion, and he's like, well, that's not realistic. Would that you would respect him because he's like an MMA champion and he knows combat, right? But would his perspective, just looking at it, that's not realistic, ruin your vibe on it? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, at the end of the day, this is kind of like,
entertainment.
this is make believe, this is entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to kind of suspend some kind of disbelief.
Yeah,
You know
exactly,
what I mean? Because again, there's a lot. For example, a lot of these blows that will kill a man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Let's be real. Let's be real.
Dead after the first
You know what I mean?
two.
Yeah, it's like, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Let alone
I'm
like
done,
my
I'm done,
cardio's
please.
gone.
I've got dead leg right now. I'm out for a week. You know what I mean? So,
Because you mentioned that when it come to the killing the last dude, you said he was gassed out.
Yeah.
So from one perspective, you're 100%. I would have been gassed out from the first guy.
Yeah.
But also, he got through all of them, dude. I felt like that last bit of like gas would have come out to put his fingers in his eyes and do that moment.
You wanted the eyes.
I wanted the punish
You wanted that bad, didn't you?
He was the
No,
eyes,
fair.
bro.
So what we tend to do with movies, we do like an SDC score, like rating. So it's a 1 out of 10.
Okay.
So I'll start with Hash. You understand about scaling, but obviously, what do you think, Hash?
for me, this is a very, very good film. And I think I'd be remiss if I gave it anything less than a 7. So I'm going to give this a 7.5, but it could easily be an 8. Be an 8. I think the only reason why I'm giving it that is because I felt like we just need a bit more of a break in the action kind of thing and get a bit more kind of story and stuff like that. I would have loved to have known more about our protagonist, you know what I'm saying, as well, and stuff like that. But again, that's me nitpicking. So I think, 7.5 for me.
Cool.
Yourself, kids?
I'm going to go for a solid 8. Solid 8. Mm-hmm. There was some tonal issues that got me. Again, nitpicking, but some tonal issues when they were having conversations that I picked up, and I was like, it doesn't really suit, like, she just died, bro. Exactly. How did the tone just quickly change like that? But other than that, like, solid, good action-packed 8 on there.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, initially I came up with a number 7 in my head, and I was like, after listening to you guys, I still think 7, just above 7 or whatnot. I think it has like a rewatchability. I'm definitely gonna watch it with my wife when it's out to watch on digital. But after that, I don't know if I could watch it again until many years. For me, something big for me is always rewatchability.
Yeah. Same.
Like I used to be, when we were kids, used to put on a film, rewind it, watch it again.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that now as adults. Time in our attention span or whatnot. Yeah. I feel like through a couple months I'll watch it again, but that's why it's 7. I don't think the movie I don't think it was bad in any way, like apart from being nitpicky on things, but that rewatchability is something for me.
No, fair.
Cool.
For me, I would give it a 7.5. I took away the 5 because I was initially going to say 8, but maybe because it was recency bias. Okay. And I'm trying to think about it like on the merits of filmmaking alone. And not being like gassed, and because again the whole like being at a screen and being with amongst like people like ourselves, like it adds to the whole
the hype of it, definitely. Definitely.
But then I think, you know what, I'm gonna be honest and give it 7.5. Cool. There is room for it to be 8. There is room for it to be like really get there.
For me, this could easily be an 8 on a rewatch.
And it's small margins, very small margins.
Yeah.
But 7.5 for me, man. 7.5.
Awesome.
All right. Yes. So that was our Kill episode. Quick shout out to Lionsgate for giving us the invite. Really appreciate it. And also thanks for having the Brothers Geek.
Thank you for having us
podcast. So Kibbs and G-Man.
Thank you.
Honestly, absolutely legendary show, man. We love what you lot doing.
The Brothers Geek out.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Sorry, man.
Kibbs,
It's been a long day.
Thank you so much, man. Honestly.
Again, like, comment, subscribe, like do all the good stuff. Press the bell. Comment
and all their stuff, socials will be in the description below.
Their social will be in the
description below.
below.
We miss Mo, man. We miss Mo.
Are you gonna do me like
It's
that?
hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work.
It's hard work.
not
It's hard
easy.
work.
It's
He's
not
doing
easy.
well. He's doing well. He's
Yeah,
doing well. He's
very
doing
Get
well.
off me,
Very
man. We got guests and making me look bad. But anyway, look. Hey, I'm wrapping it up, man. Yeah, whatever. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
subscribe.
Look, see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.